Hi everyone, how are we? Sorry I haven't been making a video for very recently. I've been spending a little bit of time out in Colorado. I got to explore like the whole state of Colorado essentially, from Denver to Colorado Springs to Pueblo to Woodland Park and just all this stuff. And my sister and I drove out there, and that was very fun and very kind of transformative. We learned a lot of stuff. Got a lot of family stuff going on that is coming to light, and it's good. It's very very healing. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I'm happy to be back. I know that I probably should have done a reading earlier in the month, and I'm sorry about that. But what I want to do right now is I really want to look into what the rest of October has in store for us. I mean, we're getting so close to the election, and I know a lot of us are stressing out, and we're also getting really close to Samhain, to Halloween. And that for some of us, work's slowing down, and we just, the coronavirus thing is still going, so we're kind of just trying to work through that and kind of maintain our level of awareness and maintain some sort of sanity. And so I wanted to check in, see how everyone's doing. All right, let's go ahead and see what else we have. What do we have going on? What can we expect for the next little while until November 1st? Straight out, call it November 1st. Where can we go? When I do this, it literally feels like a magnet, and I have to like figure out where it's coming from. Okay, so there's that one. Told to put that one in the middle. Okay, I'm working. I don't know if you guys are like what your guys' spirituality looks like right now. I know that in the state and then the place in my mind that I'm at, I'm questioning a lot of things, and I'm really learning how to discern what I believe over what I think I'm supposed to believe. And I'm pretty surprised at what stuff is kind of coming up. But I'm also having this return, since coming back from Colorado, I have this kind of return of desire and inspiration to develop my spirituality and develop my intuition. And that's something I haven't really done since I was a kid. I've always been spiritual since I was like 6 years old. Like, this has been something that I've done. I've been reading tarot since I was 12. But like literally sitting down and training my mind to open back up and to become more intuitive and more psychic and develop these gifts that I do have. And so over this week, we've had some really interesting stuff happen, and I pulled some cards when I got back home, and it was saying, get back into your studies and really make it was the Page of Cups. I thought it was so cute. If we pull that right now, I'm gonna laugh so hard. We might, I don't know. The Page of Cups saying to return to a sense of happiness and fun in your craft, to return to actually doing ritual and actually like finding a way to find some spirit and some heart in it. And I think that that's something I really needed to hear. I was like, you know what, I'm kind of falling into this level of skepticism and this kind of dormancy, spiritual dormancy, and I'm wondering if maybe ritual will actually help that return, actually sitting down and like doing candle magic and casting circles and all these things. And I think that by Samhain, that'll be something I'm gonna do. And so maybe I'll do some videos on that too, kind of just walking you guys through some of my little rituals if you care. Okay, let's see. I'm like, watch this Page of Cups come up right now. Okay. Oh, weird though. No, so we got 2 nights though. Okay, so 10 of Wands. I've actually been pulling this in a couple different decks. So since this weekend, I went through and I saw so many different tarot decks and so many different types of cards and oracle cards, and looking at some of the symbolism. And you guys know me, you know how I read, and you know that what I look at is the symbolism, and I kind of try and relate to it intuitively. So the fact that he's like walking up to this mountain, and he sees, it's like, okay, so at least we can fucking see or at least we can see the mountain now. At least we know where we're going, and at least we know, like, this is all the stuff that we have. He probably has food and clothes underneath his shawl here, or underneath his cape. So he has everything that he has with him, and he's carrying a lot of stuff, and who knows what he's going to go do with these. Either he's made them himself, or he bought them, and he's going to give them away, or he's going to use them to build something. Like, this is just a lot of stuff that he's carrying, and he's kind of tired. And I feel like we're all kind of tired. And I've been pulling this card quite a few times, asking, like, where am I supposed to be going? And it says, we're all feeling like, I mean, it's funny. So it's October. So it's the 10th. So it's the 10th month. So the 10 of Wands. So we're feeling all of the baggage built up until the end of this month. And we're like, okay, how much longer is this going to go on? What else are we to expect? What else is going on? Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if these are the candidates. So we have I doubt it, because they would be kings, I guess, because they're old. So the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So in addition to doing the symbolism, I brought my book today because I really wanted to. I've been trying to try to touch base back with what these cards mean, like written by the author here, and I find that there's a lot of messages that I don't like. I'm not gonna come up with the idea of, oh, there's a message coming, and a lot of the time pages and knights mean messengers, or they could be people coming into your life. So we have maybe it's two competing forces that we're having to look at. So we have all this weight that we're carrying. We're trying to get up to the castle, and we get up to the castle, and then there are these two competing forces. And Pentacles is always representative of financial and material gain, or just finances in general. Anything that's actually tangible that you can touch and you can feel and you can you don't have to. It's not like ethereal or symbolic. So we have this, and he's holding on to his pentacle, and then we have the Knight of Cups, and so he is representative of emotions and of intuition and these compassionate sides of ourselves. And so what I see it as, if it's talking about like politics, we're having to look at what is realistic versus what is ideal. What sort of something I've learned in as I've gotten older is that a lot of my political ideas were based around ideology, that if we just remove something, that it's going to directly mean something much better for us, and that's not true. A lot of the times all that does is create even more tension. So if we take something away out of ideology, then it's just going to create a friction. It's going to cause a resentment and war from the other side, potentially. That's more often the case than it is how we dream it's going to be. So we have this Ten of Pentacles. So the real, like, maybe the economy or the housing and all these, just like actually the things, the way that we live our life. Then this is the emotional aspect. Like, well, is this even right? Like, what are we doing? Are we living out of our best heart? You know, are we acting out of our heart, or are we acting out of what is realistic and often what's needed? And it's kind of, I'm going to read the whole description here because I think it's interesting. When the Knight of Pentacles arrives in a reading, expect a test of some kind. This will not be drama-filled scenario, but a quiet test of your honor and personal belief. Remember that the Green Knight of the legend was a tester of other knights. While he was a friendly character, he was also mysterious. In a reading, the Knight of Pentacles also represents a down-to-earth young man with a dark complexion and eyes. He is kind, compassionate, dependable, faithful, hardworking, and practical. This card may also represent an enrollment in a university, a trade, or ethical or technical school in the future. Like all the other Knight cards, the Knight of Pentacles is also a card of movement, but the movement here is more methodical. This knight takes his time, actively observes, and then thoughtfully moves forward to deal with any challenges. The challenge of the Knight of Pentacles is that active observation and methodical movement is necessary. Deal with any challenges in that way, and you will obtain a quiet victory. So, literally, moving, since they're saying both of these represent movement. We have 2 months left in the year after this until it's 2021, and we don't have to deal with this 2020 stuff anymore. All we have to deal with is the consequences and the reactions from it. We have a lot of movement. I just see that we have choices. Like, we have all of these details weighing down on us, and that we have to reconcile these two portions of ourselves. How do we want to go about action? How do we want to go about the way that we react to things? And how do we want to go about moving forward with our life in general? So let's see what the Cup says here. You know what I pulled a lot this weekend was the Three of Swords. Not stoked on that one, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. But a romantic and intuitive young man with blonde hair and green or blue eyes will arrive soon. This court card often represents a sensible, gallant, and chivalrous man. He is perceptive, empathic, and maybe a little bit reserved. He carefully protects his feelings, which is illustrated by the armor. The Knight of Cups characterizes someone who is faithful and true, who believes in magic and chivalry and honor. They are the best friend of a person that a person could ever hope for, and they will probably love once and love deeply. This card often turns up when there's about to be a proposition or tryst. This card also symbolizes movement and travel of any kind, or a chivalrous act. Expect romance, visions, what to come, magic, new creation, creative opportunities. The challenge of the Knight of Cups is this. Will you scribe within the surface of the cup to see what will be, or will you look for a vision of your future lover? flow with the elements of water and seek your mystical answer. Are we looking at what, like, we are dealing with having to reconcile the fact that maybe our outer world doesn't look the way that our inner world does, and we are having to come to terms with that and recognize, what does that actually mean for me as an individual? What does that mean for my life? And how can I find a way to combine these things so that we can actually create this proper change in our lives? We have a lot of change and a lot of movement, a lot of transition that's happening right here, and we have a choice to choose between, or we have a choice to find a way to reconcile these two parts of ourselves. What's realistic and what's ideal, and how do we do that for ourselves and do that for others? There will be challenges because we are having to fully incorporate what this means. Like, what does it look like on your individual level, and then what does that look like also for a collective level? And how can you help create that, and how can you be your best version of that for moving forward? Okay? All right, you guys. Well, I love you very much. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe my channel here, Sailor Owen, or go ahead and check out my Instagram at sailor.owen as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.